And on today's show, how to work with women in an engaging setting, part 2 of this week's series on what women want from financial advisors. With nationally recognized woman strategist, adult educator, and adjunct professor at Roosevelt University, Dr. Barb Provost. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to InsMark, Life Specs, and Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Welcome to the show, Barb.
Thanks, Steve.
Dr. Barb to you.
That's right.
Well, if you missed yesterday's show, I want you to hop out to our site. I think you need to watch these shows in their succession, in chronology. I think your learning experience and your tutorial experience will be way better. Dr. Barb, okay, we're talking about what women want from their financial advisors, and we're going to have to hit some holy grails here today, and we're going to have to tear down some mythology.
Right.
One of them is, I have a sales process. I've been taught this way for 30 years. I was taught the sales process. I've been executing my sales process, and I'm rather good at it. But now we're saying, no, this is not how women operate. And I need you to walk us through why that isn't what we're going to be doing. We're not talking about the sales process. We're talking about engagement settings. What are we talking about?
Okay, great. So I've had many, many years of developing education for organizations where they taught a sales process. It's very transactional. It's where you come in and you go through your process and methodology so that you, at the end of the sales call, you've sold a product. And remember one time I said to you I would never purchase a product that way. And it's because there's no engagement. There's not enough engagement for a woman in that type of sales process.
How do I revamp my entire way I've been doing things then? If that's true, I have to change.
You do have to change. And a lot of that is the initial meeting is very, very, very important. You know, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And so what you need to do at that first meeting is really learn about who is your client that's sitting in front of you. You cannot paint everybody with the same broad brush. You really have to sit back and ask some good questions to learn about your client, what they need, what their story is, where they've come from, where they want to go to, and what it is that they need from you.
Okay, so I'm quarantining, if I hear me correct, I'm quarantining my first contact in just discovery process here.
Yes.
I'm not doing anything in the process of sales. I'm not even, maybe even talking products or anything like that.
True.
So how hard is that for us to make the jump? Because our whole industry, both financial services as well as insurance services, we've all been predicated on the sales process.
Yes. Well, what you'll find is if you can learn this type of strategy where you're really setting up some foundational relationship building and really caring and learning about who your client is and sharing a little bit about what brings you to selling financial services, what's your story, why are you in this business, and how can the two of you come together to help her in her financial need. So it's a different process, and it's a longer process, and sometimes there might be a lot of patience required. The other thing is that once you do build that foundational trust with a woman and understand who she is and what her story is, you will have a client for life. And women, as you well know, build networks, build webs, they sell products and services just by talking and having conversation with one another. They don't do a lot of research on the web in terms of financial products, but they ask for recommendations and referrals, and that's how you will propagate your business.
So really, their social engagement is your referral system, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've noticed you said this before, and I just wanted to pick up on this. You think that we need to become educators in the way we talk about these things, not so much in the product sale, not so much in the sales process, but we're educating. Here's what's really going on. This is why I'm trying to match a concern that you brought up and actually educate you, not so much sell me.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up because that is so important. When you come to the table, you have all these great letters and after your name, all these certifications. But when you come to the table, the most critical piece is being able to convey very critical and personal information about this woman's financial future and explain to her where is she at, what does she want for her future, what are the products, the services, the strategies that you can help her implement to reach that end goal. But in order to do that, you are really in an educator type role because you are explaining a lot of different complicated pieces of information to her.
I've noticed that not many salespersons are that good at educating. You know, they're not really naturally teachers. So I have to figure out a kind of a middle ground here where I got to have a segue or kind of a transition from my normal sales process to an engagement and an educator, becoming an educator. And a facilitator actually is one of the, we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah, so how do I make that how can I, I want to learn how adults learn. I want to learn how women think. I want to know how they engage. How do I change? It's difficult to make this, especially for us who've been veterans in this business for a long time.
It is difficult, and a lot of it takes training yourself. I mean, really understanding what does the process look like today, and then what should the process look like now when I'm dealing with my female client. And you'll see if you would put them side by side, they're totally different. And what you also need to do is you need to be able to learn how to facilitate a conversation where you're explaining to your customer, teaching them, if you will, what the different products are and why they're important and how they work so that they could make a good financial decision. You don't always have to get down to the nits and lights, but you have to at least give them enough information that they feel, I say, both confident and competent to make a really good financial decision.
We come back from the break. We're going to let Dr. Barb talk to us about how we can actually create an engagement setting on our first and second interviews. We'll be right back after the break. It's not how much money you make for your clients, it's how much money they get to keep, especially in retirement. But retirement income could cause Social Security benefits to be taxed. One tax advantage alternative is life insurance designed as a non-modified endowment contract that can generate tax-free income without taxing Social Security benefits. These contracts offer differing funding options depending upon your client's risk tolerance. For more information on how life insurance can be part of your retirement planning, just email me at steve@downtobusiness.tv. Brought to you by Ash Brokerage, the practice enhancement company.